Oh, hello everyone. It's Crypto Granny Susie here. Hope you're all well, looking after yourself, your beautiful parents, your beautiful husband and wife, and children and animals, and just making it better for everyone else in the world. Being nice and lovely to animals as well as the environment. So let's get on with the crypto market. What is it telling us today? 4th of July here. I think there's an American holiday tomorrow. So the markets will be stopped, the stock market particularly, but the crypto market goes 24/7, as you know. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and wherever you are in the world a drink, and let's have a look at live coin watch to see what we can glean from the figures today, and anything else that we think's important will be mentioned as well. So grab a coffee and I'll be back with you in a jiff, which is what I'm going to do. Now let's have a live coin watch. Market cap is 3.314 trill. Volume is 75 bill. And liquidity is 9.384 bill. Very, very good indeed, I have to say. And Bitcoin got to 110,500 yesterday. It's looking extremely good to me. I think it'll hit 200,000 by the end of the year, or 250. And Standard Chartered have got a valuation out there of 200,000 by the end of the year. I think it'll be higher than that. That's my view. So 109,005, Ethereum is 25500. Market's fairly quiet today, leading into the holiday tomorrow in the US. XRP 223. Want to see XRP above 225, 226 to be off to the races, okay? So it's just consolidating here nicely. Binance 658, Solana 150, Tron is breaking out nearly 29 cents, Dodge 16 cents, ADA 58. What else we got here? BCH. They're selling BCH for some reason. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I'm sticking with our position, our investment position to acquire BCH. Even at levels down here is not bad at all for a rally into 520, and then over 520 it's going to take off like a rocket. Link is really cheap, people. They do so much. They put on 2 new clients a day, which is revenue for the network. And, one of the biggest clients in the world is Swift that, does settlements for the international banks, 11,500 international banks globally, as well as the US. So Link have got a lot of money to be had in terms of their forward projections, but also in the money that they bring in every day, because it costs money to use their network, okay? So, networks don't come cheaply, and if Swift's using Link for pricing oracles and a security, then clearly they can charge them quite a lot. It would be a long-tailed contract. IT always do long-tail contracts, 25, 30 years, and this is a very lucrative business for Chainlink. AVAX did bounce yesterday quite nicely. It's over $18 today. Before yesterday it was 17.76 or something. And it doesn't look too bad. We might look at AVAX as well. Litecoin, I'm keeping an eye on, 88.46 currently, and just a couple of others. Oh, and also Pepe got over 0.40 and a 1. So Pepe looks pretty good, actually, and I think it will bounce from here. It's one of the favored meme tokens out there. So let's help with the technicals and see what we can glean from them. Then I'll do some news stories, and then I'll come back and yeah, so we'll see what's happening today. Pretty much so. So let's just pause this for a second, and I'll go to TradingView, which I use. I really like the charts on TradingView. Now I've got Bitcoin US here, and I'm using Binance. I like Binance because they do most of the volume in the market, 75%, and that's why I use them as the pricing string. So if you have a look at this, this is a monthly, right? Sorry, this is 3-month. Sorry, I'm a bit croaky. I have to wake up, but this is a 3-month here. And, we've been given a massive buy order here, right now, compiling in Spanish means buy. And, this is basically saying that Bitcoin's going to move up to, was that US wasn't there? It's hard to get rid of that. How do I get rid of that? It's affecting my charts. Bear with me. It's hard to see where that's going because of that US dollar there. That's very annoying. Let's see if we can get that on a shorter time frame to be able to see that US dollar. No, it's still the same story. Looks like it's going to go to 115. Okay, so we go back to the previous chart. Essentially, whoops, sorry about that. We look at the previous chart, you'll see that it looked like it was going to go to 115. And that's where I believe Bitcoin will go in the short term. There is no point, effectively selling Bitcoin when there's already 1 billion people in the market of 8 billion population that hold crypto. And I saw a report on this today. It's mainly India, America, and who else was it? India, America, and an Asian country, I think. Let me see if I can find that. No, where was it? But yeah, I know it was America, India, and someone else. I can't remember who it was. But, it's a great feat, okay? It's an absolutely fantastic feat. And I remember now, it was India, China, and the US. Okay, so here we go. This came off my perplexity. India, 93 million holders, China, 59, and the US somewhere between 53 to 65. So that's effectively, they're talking 12% or 1/8 of the global population now owns crypto, which is 0.125%. So certainly in the last year, that's gone up a lot, because I remember looking at crypto stats a couple of years ago, it was like 2 to 5%. So from 5 to 12.5% is a lot. That more and more people are holding crypto, which is a wonderful thing. So let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. Looks very bullish to me on the weeklies and the dailies. Let's have a look at the dailies. Again, this level here, 112,000 is the next level. Looks pretty good to me, seriously. They're trying to sell it, but I really think you're wrong to sell Bitcoin. I really do. It's a very good looking chart, I have to say. Bear with me for a minute. Got to wake up here, wake up with 2 cups of coffee. So I think Bitcoin looks pretty good to me, like seriously good. Let's have a look at Tron, TRX. That's certainly got my interest at the moment. We're holding a lot of Tron, and it looks fantastic on the charts. Let's go to the 12 months here. Wow. So this thing's got a green on it, and 12 months takes out all the noise. Tron could get easily to 45 cents, easily. Next resistance, really, these are minor resistance levels here, 32 and 39. This thing could easily get to 45 cents, double from where it is here, or triple. I think it's a goer, and it's as cheap as cheap. They're making a fortune. Looking at the monthly, yeah, God, that looks so bullish. It's a joke. It's straight up and up, up. Literally. Bullish. This thing could easily get to $1 or more. Maybe $1.20. Really like playing like this. I know it's a bit juvenile, but I do like just playing around and drawing things. You can turn this off. I found out how to turn it off. There you go, that thing down the bottom there. But this looks so good. Honestly, it's a very good looking chart, and it's going to break out. There's no doubt about that. Tron is breaking out. So let's go to XRP and have a look at that. They're now applying for a banking license. They want to do their IPO. Lots going on with XRP at the moment. And look, the SEC is still on their back, which is very annoying. But, if they go and get listed, that's going to be bullish for the market, bullish for them. And, someone could take them out, literally take them over if they get listed, okay? So XRP, I'd like to see it above 245, somewhere like that. This level here is 233. So, yeah, there's a bit of overhead here at 233. And, if we can get through that, then we're going to be off to the races, okay? So we take this back. Just want to see something else here. We take this back. As you can see, it's an enormous amount of consolidation for a long time, right? On the 3 monthly. And now it's starting to move it up again, looking to complete that smile. And the overall level is 320 cents. 320 to complete the smile, okay? And that's a big rally from here as well. So, yeah, looks pretty good, providing it holds these particular levels, like 221, okay, on the 3 month chart. So 221, it's got to be above 221, clearly, to get to 320. Another dollar above that. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, let's have a look at something else here. Let's make this interesting. Let's look at Pepe, one of my favorite tokens. Okay, we're on the 3 month here, and we've got a green here for a buy, a big buy. So done a lot of consolidation, Pepe, a lot of consolidation around this 50950. So this thing above 1 or 4 zeros and 1, if it breaks that again and holds there, right? This thing could go a lot higher. Now, someone asked me today, and it was Clint, if it gets to 1 cent and you're talking the issuance that Pepe have against, for the market valuation, right? It means it's going to be 4 trillion. But you've got to remember something. These tokens and memes always burn tokens, okay? They burn them. They can be taken over. They continue to burn every time they write new business. They have automatic burning mechanisms within their network to burn the token, right? And Pepe could come out and burn half their supply. And I believe they will, because we've seen it with Sui, we've seen it with a lot of meme, techo, whatever you want to call them, tokens, right? Or picture of different people or whatever it might be. And they come out and burn the token, right? And this thing could easily get to 1 cent with all the burns we're going to see in this thing in the next couple of years, okay? So the market valuation is a very poor market value, is a very poor mechanism for valuations of a network. It doesn't apply. It should be using what's coming in terms of cash from clients and what are their liabilities, right? A cash flow statement or a discounted cash flow model, but not a market value model. If it gets about cash flow, do they have debt? Do they have, how many liquid assets do they have against their debt? Is it going to fall over because there's not enough money to pay the developers who update the system of system controls and encryption so that the system cannot be hacked? Using market valuation is completely wrong, okay? Completely wrong. You have to use discounted cash flow basis, plus how many clients they have, how many holders they have, and what they're doing in terms of the network. It's as simple as that. You can't apply market valuation to crypto. It's completely wrong. So Pepe, it's given us a buy signal, and it's looked very good. Once she gets through 1, she could be seriously off to the race again. And, up at this level here, 4 zeros, 2865. But I think, what will happen is they'll burn supply and she'll be off to the races again. So let's help with this. We're still getting the sell signals, but again, it's now there's a war here between the sellers and the buyers, okay? And this thing has consolidated for a while, right? For a long while. And the lows are getting higher. Look, overall the lows are getting higher. So for me, any dip in this thing, I'm a big buyer. People, I'm a big buyer. Even the 4 hour, like, look at this, the lows were lower. Now they're higher, the lows, and higher. It looks pretty bullish to me. Looks like a descending wedge ready to break out at all levels. Okay, so let's have a look at BCH today. They hit it yesterday. I don't know why. There has been some selling at BCH, but that doesn't change my view. Matter of fact, I'm a buyer at BCH, so any level below this is a buy for me. So here we go. It's interesting they're hitting it, at this level here, the support level, and the monthly support level is 454. Let's go to daily on that. I like to see that. Daily is 468. And let's go to the 4 hours, which I like even better for a trading chart. The 4 hours, it hit a level support of 465. It's bounced off that level, trying to get through resistance now of 484. So if she gets through resistance of 484, she got to 520 the other day. We bought off 520. She's going to take out the lights again. And I believe this will take out the lights again. If you look at the overall trend, it is up, people, up. And you don't go against the trend, right? This thing is straight up, right? And let's go like roughly there. We put another curve on this very simply. You'll see where this thing's going to go, right? The bigger charts told us about 650, something like that. So right up here somewhere, right? We know as a minimum. Now let's go back to the daily and the monthly. Oops. See if we can see that trend line. It's a very small one on the monthly. But again, you sort of get the idea. It's heading up here, right? 692. So the bigger time frame showing us that BCH could get to a minimum of 692. Okay. And that's why I'm a buyer of BCH. Plus, they have the same issues, as Bitcoin. Okay. Lack of supply. One apple in the toolbox, to 8 billion people. So a lot of reasons to buy BCH, people, a lot of reasons. Well, let's just have a quick look at Crypto Compare. We have our investment portfolios on this. It's a free service. I like it very much. It gives you an overview, gives you risk analysis, even accounting reports, right? But also it gives you, acquisition costs and mark to market. And this is free at the moment. And my understanding is it's owned by Binance. And all my clients use this. You have to know what P&L you're making, right? Crazy if you don't. So what we've got here is showing the maximum value of the portfolio with the rally, the most profitable, which has been BCH, the least profitable and the worst crypto, just over a year-to-date mechanism, okay? So, but I'm very confident that these cryptos we hold will do extremely well. You can expand this or you can collapse it and, do this and all sorts of things. It's a very, I really like this website, I have to tell you that. So our average on Bitcoin Cash is $400. We buy in increments. We buy small bits all the time, like discounted, averaging, that sort of thing. We never buy big slabs. We might buy 2 to 5,000, that sort of thing, which I send out buy orders to people as well as sell orders. So what we've got here is BCH looks pretty good. I think it's going to go higher from here. It's a buy level down here. Tron looks excellent. We've got Link, which we'll have a look at. Bitcoin looks pretty good. And I think Binance is going to look great. I'm going to look at that as well. VeChain hasn't done a lot. I'm still waiting for VeChain. It's been a bad performer, really. It hasn't done a lot. Solano, we bought at high levels and so forth. So these are our holdings. Conflicts hasn't performed well at all. But again, these are, and that was AI essentially. So this is what we're holding. So let's have a look at Link on this and see what we think with Link. And then I'll have a look at AVAX as well, because we're holding AVAX only a little bit. Okay, so if we go to, so it's 3 months. Yeah, it's interesting. Look, the lows are getting lower, right? The lows are getting lower. And you've got this beautiful smile happening. It needs to really, really rally and get through, $22 or something like that. But, for the bigger picture, it needs to break some serious levels here. $22 to $25, which is a fair way away on the longer term charts. Let's go to the monthly. On the monthly, still $26. We need a shorter time frame to get closer to our valuation here. Right. It's a big level on the monthly, we know that. The next resistance level, which is on the weekly, is 1972. So we need to go to shorter term date, even more so. Right, support 1330 is support. And next level resistance is, what we got? 1505. Okay, interesting. We might get a push. We are starting to see a few more buyers here. It's been a lot of sellers. I don't know why. Doesn't make sense because it's got incredible fundamentals, okay? As I told you before, Chainlink has incredible fundamentals. This thing could bounce pretty quickly. We put a line straight through there. Let's have a look at that trend line straight through there. Boy, it's really, yeah, it's on the trend line. It needs to break. Bear with me. Around $15, 15.12, 15.05. So it's got to break that level there. This one here, right on the period line, which is 15.01. Okay. So 15.01 is the big level on this on the dailies, okay? Big level to break, 15.01. And there's that downtrend. You can break this level here. And on the weekly, it even gets into a lesser On a weekly, it is, yeah, around $15, people. So $15 this thing has to break before it gets through that downtrend, right? It will take, 20 cents here or there. So that's very interesting to me. Okay. Yeah, now we're talking with gas. Let's have a look at AVAX. Okay, let's take it back. I like to take things back. Just takes out all the noise. Boy, they've hammered this one. Whoa. Sell. Massive. It used to be at 146, if that's right. Boy, this one's so oversold, it's a joke. It's really, Avalanche is really oversold. They're doing some great things. They're putting a lot of clients. Boy, that is massive. Got to tell you, AVAX is seriously oversold. That's mental. Mental how much they've taken this one down. Boy, probably worth buying some more. It's very cheap. Very cheap. This has done a lot of consolidation here, and it's run on its lows again from way back, 2021, right? 2022. Boy, this one looks very oversold to me, and it could bounce, okay, big time. AVAX. I love drawing. It's great, AVAX. But yeah, that's AVAX, yeah. But that is seriously, seriously oversold, people. Really oversold. Yep. You've got to be a buyer. I think I'm going to be a buyer here. This is too ridiculous for words. I think I'm going to be a buyer of AVAX. That's really oversold. Like really bad. There are a few that are like Conflicts, which is an AI, which is one of the only cryptos supported by China. And this is massively oversold. Got to 29 cents when we bought it. And it's a great story. Boy, gee, there's some crypto they're really hitting. And this is AI, people. Wow. Amazing. Let's go to Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin was at yesterday or the day before talking about how he believes Ethereum has an inability to hold its market percentage, market dominance, simply because they're not getting as many clients as they used to. Going back 2021, there was heaps of ICOs, and now there's not so many, right? And there's more competition. So yeah, they're not bloody making as much money as they used to, and they've just gouged the eyes out of everyone for fees. A lot of people don't like Ethereum, and I'm one of them. Okay, so what do we got here? Whoa, here we go. Look at that. Looks like an M. You always see these M's in markets, right? Or W's. So according to this M, this could go for another drop. And the highs are getting lower, which is quite bad, right? Highs are getting lower. Technically, it doesn't look great to me. It's got to hold that level there, 2472. This is on the 3 months. Boy, never liked Ethereum, ever. I don't know. I just don't like it. But yeah, you can see that, right? It's got to hold. It doesn't. 2258, the big one, right around there. But yeah, technically that doesn't look great at all. The highs are getting lower, and that's not a good story. Not at all. Let's go to the daily on that. Same story here. Yeah, I think it's a sell. That's my view. It's good 4 hours. Resistance on the 4 hours is 2621. And support 2405. Yep. They're the only time frames I'll look at. Anyway, anything else I want to have a quick squeeze at while I'm here? See what else we have here. VeChain's not doing anything. Litecoin, I'm keeping an eye on. It looks pretty good technically, actually. IOTX has been disappointing. All the AI stocks have been disappointing, but I'm a firm holder of AI stocks, okay? Cosmos has been very disappointing as well, but we only have small portions in our portfolio according to that. We buy things that are going up, and we reduce things that are not performing. But I'm quite happy to stay with Link and Pepe because they're ultra cheap. And so is Avalanche. Avalanche has been severely hit, big time. Yeah, and you can see in the portfolio it's still down 55%. Wow, crazy. Polygon down 84%. But we only had 1,000, so that wasn't too much. And we took profit. So we basically break even. Anything from here is going to be pure profit, which is good. Interesting. Risk analysis, 28%, BCH, 17, Tron, 16 Link, Bitcoin, 14.66, Binance, 7.65. Let's have a look at Binance. Love Binance. The Meganauts making a fortune. Absolute fortune. All right, let's have a look at that one. 3 months. Yeah, looks great. It's very oversold before, and now she's going to go on and upward. This coin should be worth 5,000 US dollars per unit. It's too cheap, and they're making a fortune. Billions and billions and billions of dollars they're printing every year. Just buy it, people. It's amazing. Anyway, that's enough of me with the technicals. Now I'll show you the news stories, and I hope you enjoy the new format. Please, if you're watching this, press the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you. hope you like my new format. If you wouldn't mind subscribing and just giving me a tick, I'd really appreciate that. And onward and upward, as far as I'm concerned, I'm ultra bull in this market. Looks extremely good to me, and we're going to see a big rally leading into the FOMC meeting, Federal Open Markets Committee meeting on the 29th and the 30th of July. So I am total bull. Trying to sell Bitcoin, I think people are crazy. It's one apple in the world, 8 billion people, and people will look at other derivations of Bitcoin. That's why we love BCH so much. But, today the market looks pretty good, right? Most of the coins we looked at were a buy, except ADA, and, I'm ultra bullish. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you. Now I've got to turn this thing off. Technology, it's amazing.